Hello everyone, very good morning and good evening. Welcome to our SAP S4 Hana Step Up Circle sessions. And today in the Step Up Circle session, we are going to cover aATP, Advanced Available to Promise. We were getting this request for quite some time. So before we go ahead and understand, what is aATP? What is aATP, Advanced Available to Promise? We need to understand what is aATP. What is available to promise? So available to promise कि भैया available to promise क्या होता है? Very basic and simple terms I will try to explain because different module people at different levels are available. This is my customer, right? Now this customer wants some product to me. He said कि भैया this product A, right, which is my, let's say, soap, I need 5,000 cases, right? I need 5,000 cases. And boss, you delivered me by, let's say, 15th of June. You deliver me, just a dummy date I'm taking. 15th of June, you gave me 5,000 cases. That is the order he has given to us, which he has given the purchase order, which in our system will be creating a sales order. Okay, and this quantity will go into the sales order, right? Quantity will go into the sales order, and this date will go into the sales order as my requested delivery date. As my request, give here 15 June ko this quantity is required. But this is what customer wants from me, right? The other question is, can I supply? The other question arises कि भैया मेरे दोस्त, can I supply those quantities? This 5,000 cases on 15 June, do I have a capability to supply? So that I need to check. So what I need to check? I need to check my stock, right? Which is my on-hand stock, right? Can you let me know over the chat? Let's make this session a little interactive. What do you think? What else I need to check? If I need to reply to my customer, कि भैया I can supply this to you or not, apart from on-hand stock, what are the other things I need to check to give confirmation to my customer? कि भैया on 15 June I would be able to give you 5,000 cases. Don't worry. And whenever we ask a question in between to you, if you know the answer, you type it. If you don't know the answer, you still type it. If you don't know the answer, you type NI. NI means no idea. So basically, these questions are nothing but a kind of a hack, because it is difficult to concentrate on these kind of sessions, the live sessions. So we put these questions in between so that your fingers goes into the keyboard and you type something, even though it is NI. As soon as you type something, your focus gets shifted back. You get a shift back focus onto the session, right? Otherwise, attending this session, thinking about the office, thinking about so many things, right? I'm getting very good answers. Thank you for that. Route, transportation facility, open SO and delivery, capacity and material availability, right? So many things I need to check, right? Thank you. Delivery time. Thank you everyone. So I need to check stock. Do we have a stock on hand or not, right? Then I also need to check my supply situations. Maybe I don't have a stock, but my supply is going to come by this date. I have a zero on-hand stock, but my supply will come. From where the supply will come? The supply can come from the procurement. I can have a open purchase order, open purchase requisition. My purchase order is there already. Supplier will supply, and then I would be able to give it, right? So I need to check my supplies. I need to check my procurement. I need to check my manufacturing. Maybe from manufacturing, I have open production orders, and then I would be getting it from there. From the open production orders, I would be able to getting it from there. Okay, and with that, I would be able to fulfill the demand, right? So those are the things we need to check. We need to check the capacities in the manufacturing also. Do we have a capacity to manufacture and deliver that? We might need to check the warehouse capacity also. Yeah, you are asking on this one day 5,000 quantity, but I need to check on that date how many another goods I am delivering it. I have only 2 docking doors. With that 2 docking doors, I can only do the 10 shipments, right? But on the same day, if I have a requirement for 25 shipment, my warehouse capacity is not there, right? So I need to check my warehouse capacities. I need to check my manufacturing capacities. I need to check my on-hand stock, supplies. I need to check so many different things we need to check before we commit to our customer that on this date I would be able to deliver, right? So based on this checking, I would be committing to my customer, and let's say based on this checking, I found it out. Out of 5,000, 4,000 I can give it on 15 June. And my dear customer, for rest 1,000 quantity, your rest 1,000 quantity, you will get it on 1st of July, 1,000 quantity. Because I would be producing it, then I would be giving it, delivering it, shipping it to you, right? So that requires some of time. Other things which I need to check, maybe I have all the stock and my own hand stock is 50,000. Does it mean that my on hand stock is 50,000, but my customer is requiring 5,000? That also does not mean I would be able to give it to that customer. Because the other thing I need to check, apart from supply, I need to also check my demand also, right? Maybe there are some another customers are there who has demand from that product. They are already asking me, कि भैया दे दो मुझे, I need it, right? So I need to also check what are the other sales order demand I have. Right? Although on-hand stock is there, but other customer is requiring the same demand, right? Then I can have some diamond customers. Then I can have some diamond customer, and diamond customer wants to reserve the stock. This 2,000 quantity, even though I don't have a sales order, but I know I have a Walmart, right? I have a Reliance. They would be definitely giving me the order. So they are my regular customers. I cannot, they're giving me big business, big volumes. So I need to reserve the stock for them. So that can be the condition. I need to also check that. So although it's a very simple thing, right? We need to commit back to the customer. We need to commit back to the customer. But to commit back to the customer in the project, you require a multiple consultant, a specialized aATP consultant to make sure your commitment, how you would be giving it, and how you would be calculating it. A specialized consultant is there to implement that process in your company. That process called aATP. Advance available to promise, right? So basically what we are aiming in, we are aiming in this part. We are aiming in this part. This thing need to go back to the customer. 4,000, this commitment need to go back to the customer. That is right. What is available with me, which I can promise? That says aATP, available with me, which I can promise to the customer. So this is my promise, right? This promise goes into sales order. We have a schedule lines. A schedule line confirmation happens. Technically, now I am speaking, what is aATP? What is aATP available to promise? Your sales order when you create, then system confirm the schedule line that on which date, how much quantity I would be able to commit to the customer. That is aATP available to promise. That is aATP available to promise, right? In ECC, we have aATP available to promise. In S4 HANA, we have aATP available to promise. And in ECC, if we want to use the advanced functionalities, we were going from GATP, global available to promise. GATP was the product in APO. That GATP in APO is setting down, and then aATP is coming up now. Now aATP is coming up, right? That's what is happening. So there are a lot of advanced functionalities are there, which is not there in aATP, right? If I need to highlight from here itself, few of them, right, which I was talking about, checking out the warehouse capacities, right? Checking out the complex situations where you are reserving the stock for the diamond customers, checking out multiple customer has a stock, and then from the multiple customer, which customer you need to give priority with the complex business rules and logics. These are the few examples where basically available to promise logic, aATP logic, which was used, aATP logic, which was used in ECC, does not support the complex business requirement. It just support the basic things, right? We'll talk about when we jump into the first session of the training. First, we talk about the aATP to understand कि भैया तुमको मालूम है, you know what is aATP. Then we jump into the aATP, right? And then when S4 HANA came into the picture, in S4 HANA, we have both, right? We have aATP for advanced functionality, advanced available to promises there. And we also have a aATP available to promises also there. Okay, available to promises also there. So the companies who want to stick with the basic function and feature, they stick with this functionalities. Companies which can pay little higher and want to use the advanced functionalities, they can go for advanced available to promise. Now, Karthik would be talking about more about what are those advanced things. Again, to understand those advanced things, you need 25 hours of efforts. from our side. Additionally, you need to put minimum to minimum 50 to 100 hours of efforts from your side, jumping into the system and trying the things, what assignments you will be giving it up. Then you would be having a complete clear picture. But at least few topics will be trying to clarify it so that you understand what are the advanced functionalities we are talking about. But I hope with this basic example, you understand कि ATP का मतलब क्या है? What does ATP means? ATP means our commitment to customer. Customer is demanding us X quantity on X date. What is our commitment? How much quantity? X plus X minus delta or X, and what date? Y or Y plus delta date, which we can commit to the customer. That is available to promise, right? And advance available to promise, which has an answer to the complex business solutions also. कैन वी एक्टिवेट बोथ कि भैया दोनों एक साथ यूज करते हैं, एटीपी भी करते हैं, एटीपी भी करते हैं, राइट? सो यू कैन एक्चुअली you can have a both at the same time. So when you configure it, when you jump into the configuration, you will come to know that with the availability check group, it depends whether your availability check group in the material is activated for advanced ATP or not. So in a single, technically in a single system, both can be at the same time. But for a same scenario, for a single sales order is for a specific sales order, can we use of both algorithms, ATP and aATP at the same time? No, right? Technically, both can be there in system for the different materials, different sales order. For one material, sales order has ATP, another material sales order can have aATP. That can happen, but single sales order cannot have a both, right? That is to quickly answer one of the questions which has been asked. And with this brief explanation, I would like to hand it over to our expert, Mr. Karthik. Okay, by the time Karthik is jumping in, I will quickly introduce him. So Karthik and me, we are engaged for quite some time, and we were requesting him to give I was only able to do one session in a year for the aATP. If you can take it, because I'm involved into the multiple things, right? So that's where basically Karthik was involved. He was already taking the different batches of aATP in the different institutes he has taken, and he was also taking the corporate batches. In the corporate also, he has taken the complete aATP training. So he has enriched aATP experience, plus he is working consultant on the aATP projects, right? Overall, he has more than 11 years of SAP experience, where he has worked on the different modules. And from last few years, he is specifically working on aATP, and he's working on to the aATP live implementation projects at part-time, because training comes from passion to Karthik. And that's what brings Karthik here. He wants to share the knowledge. He's a working consultant. When we do our live sessions, you would be able to interact more. You would be able to ask specific question, and he would be able to answer from his project experience the answers to them, right? So with that basic brief experience, Karthik, over to you.
So basically, aATP solution, we call that as an intelligent order promising tool. So what exactly it does is, whatever the requirements you have on the left-hand side, if you see in this diagram, so whether it's a sales order or the STO, it will look into that requirement, and it will verify how is the stock situation now in your entire supply chain network. What is the stock situation? What is the stable stock? What is the planned receipts which you have? So it will verify that, and on top of that, it will consider your business priorities, whether this customer leads to the profitability or not. By considering all those things, it will give a confirmation to your requirement. Okay, so now if you look at the aATP solution strategy, it is simple, because whatever the aATP solution you have, so that is available in the cloud as well, along with the on-premise. So whenever the solution is available in the cloud, so the access will be little easier, and all the applications which are there in aATP, you can access all the applications in the cloud will be available in the form of free. Okay, like in your mobile, how the apps are there, right? In the similar fashion, in aATP also, for each and every functionality, there is a specific app. For example, if you are talking about the product allocation, so to set up that, to visualize the product allocation situation and everything, there is a specific apps for it. So for each and every application, for each and every functionality, there is a specific applications are there in the aATP. Now, it is fast because, so at the back end, it is built on the S4 HANA database, right? So whenever the backend is S4HANA, so the fetching of the data or the saving the data a little faster compared to the other databases. And it is flexible. So because whatever the S4HANA aATP solution is there, you can get it both on-premise and the public as well. And it is both private. Also, you will get it. Okay. And then it is intelligent. So why it is intelligent is it has a very good functionalities like alternative based confirmation, or it has a capability of exceptional handling. If something is not going well in the expected behavior, then it will propose it will throw an exception. Okay. And in that situation, how to handle it. So that things will be there in the aATP solution. That is the reason it is intelligent, and it is tightly integrated with your all the modules, like whether it can be a planning or the manufacturing, whether it can be logistic, or whether it can be a transportation things. All those things will be considered, okay, in the aATP solution. It will tightly integrated with the all the modules of your ERP solution. So as I mentioned here, if you see here at the SD level, okay, whatever the sales orders you have, it will try to check the available stock situation, and against that, it will give a confirmation to your requirements. And it will, while doing the MTO scenario also, so like whenever you registered a sales order, so by when you are going to get the confirmation. So if even though you don't have any readily available the stock, if you go for the planning, but how much time it will take it. So that also it will consider. So it will consider the exact constraints which you have in your planning, whether it's a material constraint or whether it can be a resource constraint. That will also consider while proposing a delivery date to your requirement. And in the logistic executions also, it is tightly integrated, because whatever the transportation constraint you have, how much time it takes for the transportation, how much time it takes for the picking or the packing, okay, or the if you didn't have a capacity for the warehouse for the transportation, so those things also will be considered while proposing a confirmation to your end user or the customer. Okay, even it will consider the existing demand situations which are already confirmed, all those things. So that is the reason it is tightly integrated with the all the modules of your ERP solution. So now let us see what are the major functionality which you have under the aATP. Right. So first one is we have the PAC, product availability check. Next one is a product allocations, and we have the back order processing. We have alternate based confirmation. Okay, we have business process scheduling. Okay, we have supply based confirmation. So these are all the functionality which we get as a part of S4HANA aATP solution. So now let us understand one by one functionality. Okay, how it is going to work, how it is going to help in your organization. Okay. Right. Now, one of the first functionality of aATP, that is a PAC, product availability check. Right. So it is a normal ATP only. There is no difference between how you the normal ERP ATP which you have which you get as a part of SD. Okay, it is similar to that. The setup is little different, and but the basic core functionality is same. So it will try to see your existing stock situation. Okay, so if you have a requirement, let us say I'm having a sales order of one. Okay. Of 10 quantity, there is a requirement for the customer C1. Now, whether in my plant, okay, whether I have the stock of 10 or not, if it is 10 is available, it will give a confirmation to that customer saying that by today or as per the stock availability, it will give the confirmation. Okay. So now let us go to the next kind of functionality which you have as a part of aATP solution. That is a product allocation. So we call it as a PAL, product allocation. So what it, I mean, when we really want to go with the product allocation. So for example, if you take this scenario only, so customer one comes with a requirement of 100. So let us say customer two comes with another requirement of 10 here, and customer 3 also, or 10 here. Okay. And at your location for your specific product, you have a stock of, let us say, 10. Okay. So now whenever the customer registers sales order of 10 quantity as he created first, so it will verify the stock situation as per the normal PAC, and the stock is available, and it will give the confirmation to the first customer. Right. So now the second customer registers a sales order, okay, and with a requirement quantity of 100, but 10 is already consumed and it is packed against your customer one, right? So there is no open stock available. Right now it is zero. So the customer two has to wait until the next stock comes into your manufacturing location or the respective warehouse. So it will become unconfirmed. And even if you see customer three also, so if it comes with the requirement of 10, but there is no stock available, it is zero, right? So, so customer three also will not able to get the confirmation. But for your organization process, so C2 and C3 a little important for you. Okay, we should not completely avoid those orders. At least a partial or whatever the max you can give the confirmation, you need to give that. So, but if you are going with this traditional PAC, what will happen? Whichever the customer comes first, it will consume that stock, and the later customers will not able to get the confirmations. Right? The situation arises when your demand is greater than your supply. Right? There, the PAL comes into the picture. So, what it will do is, so it will set a limits for the confirmations, higher limit at max how much it can get the confirmation. For example, so for the customer one, okay, whenever he comes in that specific month, he can get the confirmation. Maximum confirmation is only 5. Okay. And customer two, the maximum confirmation is, let us say, this is 3. Let us say this is 5. And maximum confirmation for C3 also, let us say 5. Okay, so we have set a upper limit for the confirmation against that particular customer ahead only. Okay, we have decided as per our demand planning situation how each demand is coming from the specific customer. But based upon that, we are setting upper limits for the confirmation. Now the same situation when I going with the PAL, how it will behave, let us see. For example, here customer one comes with a requirement of 10. Okay, and you have a stock availability of 10 here. Okay, so now it can give the confirmation of 10 as per the PAC, but if you see here, you are limiting with a 3 quantity. That is a maximum confirmation in that particular period you can get it. So it will give a confirmation of 3, even though you have a available stock of 10 and you can get the full confirmation, but as you set a upper limits for your confirmation, as you are limiting with the help of the allocations, so the final confirmation for that customer is 3. Now C2 comes with a requirement of 10 again. Okay, so now as 3 is consumed, the open stock is 3, right? Now C2 will comes with a requirement of 10 and the stock is available. It can give the confirmation of 7 out of 10, but you have set an upper limit of 5. So it will give the confirmation of 5. And even if you look at the C3 also, it comes with a requirement of 10. And as 5 is also consumed, so 2 is the remaining stock, it can give the confirmation of 2. So now if you look at the previous situation and the current situation, when you're going with a plain PAC, only one of the customer is getting the full confirmation, other 2 customers remains unconfirmed. But when you are activated the PAL, where you are setting the upper limits, okay, based upon the each customer, you are getting the at least the partial confirmation at max whatever it can get it, right? This way, the PAL will help you to give the confirmations. Okay, clear? Hope you are following. If you're following it, please update in the chat window. Okay, if you have any queries also, please update in the chat window. I will look into it and I will answer accordingly.
Quickly put NQ in the chat window if you don't have any question. If you have any question, please try to type it. NQ in the chat window if you don't have any questions so far. There's one question in the chat. So can we use both PAC and PAL?
Yes. So PAC always will be there at the back end. So that is the core ATP functionality. So on top of PAC only the PAL will come. It is tightly integrated along with the PAL, along with the PAC, the PAL will work. Individually, the PAL won't work.
Okay. What scenario PAL is used? That is another question.
So PAL will be used whenever your demand is greater than your supply, and you want to segregate, or you want to prioritize your set of customers or the certain channels demand over the other things, so that there you can use the PAL. Okay, so that whenever the customer comes, their stock will be available, so it won't be consumed by the previous customers.
Another question we have is, if we do not give upper limit, is the behavior of PAL is same as PAC?
Yeah, the purpose of the PAL is to set a limits only, right? So the moment you are not defining the limits for the confirmation, it will behave like a normal PAC.
There's no point of it then
Yes.
putting PAL, right? Correct. There's one more question is there. If the upper limit is set to 10 for any another customer, what will happen?
So that means whenever the customer is set a upper limit of 10, so it can get the confirmation up to 10 only, even though you have a stock available which is more than 10, that is a maximum confirmation he will get in that particular period. For example, if we set the limit of 10 or the allocation of 10 for that particular week, okay, so during that week he won't get the maximum confirmation. He won't get the confirmation over the 10, even though the stock is available. Okay, but in the next week, okay, as per the respective week allocation, again it will get the confirmation accordingly.
Okay, thank you. I think we have tried to touch most of the questions. If we have missed anything, feel free to drop us at support@sastrageek.com. I think we can proceed ahead, Karthik.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
So one more good thing in S4 HANA is whatever the PAL functionality which you have, you can set it for the sales orders and the STOs as well, which is not there in the basic ECC ATP or in the GATP as well. Okay. So now the next functionality which S4 aATP provides, that is ABC, alternative based confirmation. Okay. So what exactly it does is, so whenever the customer comes with a requirement, okay, so for your specific location, let us say L1, if the stock is available straight away, it will give the confirmation from that location for this specific product. If the stock is not available at the required location, it will look in your entire your supply chain network. Is there any other location where the stock is available or not? If the stock is available in another location, it will try to fulfill your customer requirement from the other locations, right? So it's called a location substitution. Or if the requested product is not available in your entire supply chain network, okay, so then is there any similar kind of product which you have, okay, which is having the same kind of features, the whatever the customer is requested, so then it can propose the alternative products also. Okay, so for example, let me take a simple example here. Customer comes with a requirement for the P1 at L1 location of, let us say, 10 quantity of requirement he requested. But for example, in your organization, you have L1, L2, L3. Three locations are there in your organization. Now, whenever the customer comes with a requirement of 10, but let us say there is no stock, the stock situation is like this. So 0, and here it is 10, and here it is 10. So here, as there is no stock available at the L1 location, as per the normal ATP check, what will happen? It will unconfirm, right? It won't get any confirmation. It will remain as a back order. So now, instead of waiting to stock come to that respective location, you can look into the other location which is there in your supply chain network. Let us say here. So L2 is there where the stock is there for your product. So what it will do is it will try to give the confirmation from the L2 location, so that the customer no need to wait until the stock is filled up in the L1 location. So this is where the customer will improve the order promising. This we call it as a location substitution. Okay. So whenever the requested product is not available at the base location, it will give the confirmation from the alternative locations as well. And here we have one more functionality which is part of ABC, that is a product substitution. For example, customer requested for product P1, okay, but P1 is, let us say, it is not available at all the locations. So, but we have a similar kind of product P2 is there, which is having a stock. Okay. So then it will try to give the confirmation for that customer. Instead of P1, it will give the confirmation for the P2 at L1 location of 10 quantity. Okay. If the customer is okay with the alternative product, which you have it, so you can propose that confirmation. So by doing this, you no need to wait until the stock comes into your respective base location or for the base product. If you have a alternative product, or if you have a alternative location from which you can deliver the order, so you can choose it. So this is where the ABC will help you. Okay, it will try to improve your order promising by going with the either location substitution or by product substitution. Okay. So the next kind of functionality which we have under aATP, that is SUP, supply protection. So when we use this supply protection, what is the importance of this supply protection? So when you are going with the supply protection, we are going to guarantee that this is the quantity you are going to get it, no matter when you come. You are guaranteeing that the minimum quantity. So that means, suppose if you have three customers, C1, C2, and C3. Okay. So here, suppose you are guaranteeing that, so whenever the customer comes, you are going to get a 10 quantity. So that is a minimum, no matter whatever the requirement you comes with, but the minimum you will get a 10 quantity. On top of that, based upon the availability stock situation, you will get it. And if C2 is comes, let us say 20 is there, and C3 is there, let us say, you are guaranteeing a minimum quantity. You are protecting a stock of 10 against C1, 20 against C2, and 30 against C3. Okay. For example, you have a available stock of 100. Okay. You have a stock of 100 for that particular product. So if this is the situation, whenever the customer one comes with a requirement, so the total available stock visibility for customer C1 will be, so as we have protected 20 against the C2, 30 against the C3, that means these 50 should not be visible for the customer C1 because we are already protected those stock against the C2 and C3. So available stock situation against the customer 1, customer 1 will be your 100 minus 100 minus whatever the quantity which is protected, okay, from other customer groups, against other customers groups. So the total available stock situation for the customer C1 will be 50. Okay. So now when the customer C2 comes, okay, so if you look at, we have protected 10 against the C1, 30 against the C3. Okay, even though you have a stock of 100, the 100 won't be visible to the C2 because you have protected 10 out of the 100 to the against the C1, 30 against the C3. Right? You are guaranteed that whenever you comes, this quantity will be theirs. That means other customers should not consume it. So it should not consume means you should not available for the display, right? When you are doing the aATP, right? That's what. So whenever the C2 comes with a requirement of 20, whenever the C2 look into the aATP situation, so this will be your 100 minus whatever the quantity you have protected against the other customers. So the total availability stock situation against the C2 will be 60. Okay. So from the C3 perspective, when you look at availability stock situation, if you have a stock of 100, it will display only your 100 minus whatever the protected quantity against the other customers if you subtract. So for the C3, it will display only 70. It will show that we are having a stock of 70 only. When the C2 comes, we are going to display that we are having a stock of 60, even though you have a stock of 100, but it display only 60 because other quantity is protected against the other customer groups. Okay. This is where if you are doing like this, whenever the customer comes, their quota will be there. Okay. And it will not be consumed by any other customers. Okay. So this will improve your order promising. Okay. This is one more functionality which you get as a part of S4 aATP, which is not there in other ECC ATP or APOG ATP. This is a new functionality which is introduced in the S4 HANA aATP. Okay, good. So let me move on to the next functionality which S4 aATP can offer. That is supply-based confirmation. We call it as a SBC. Okay, if you look at either SUP, ABC, or PL or the PAC, so whenever the requirement comes, what it will do? It will just verify whether the stock is there or not, right? If the stock is not there, it will say remains unconfirmed. Okay, but in the case of SBC, if the stock is not available, it will straight away go for the planning and it will generate a planned order. Okay, based upon the planned order end date, it will give a confirmation to your customer order. Okay, it won't wait until the normal planning run which you have in your organization. Okay, on the spot, whenever the requirement comes, okay, I want 100 quantity. Okay, but 100 quantity is not available in the system right now. So now if I plan 100 quantity, by when I'm going to get it? So it automatically generate a planned order. If it is in-house, it will generate a planned order based upon the respective component availability or the resource availability. So your planned order will get updated with certain date by when it is going to available. So according to the planned order end date, it will give the confirmation to your customer. It won't wait until your planning run. On the spot, you will get to know by when you are going to get the confirmation, the realistic dates you will get it. So that's where the SBC will help you. Okay. So it's generally we call this as a ATP with production. So that means it won't wait for the normal planning run. Okay. On the spot, when you are creating any requirement, let us say sales order, you created it. So it will, suppose that is external procurement material, it will generate a purchase order based upon the purchase order lead time. It updates with the availability date, right? Purchase order availability date. So against that, it will give a confirmation to your requirement. Okay. This is one more functionality which you get as a part of aATP solution. So now let's move on to the next functionality which you have under aATP, that is back order processing. So back order processing is This is like whenever any sales order comes, so you need to trigger the ATP and you need to check the situation. If the stock is not available now, and suppose at the end of the day you got the stock, again you need to trigger the ATP to get the confirmation. Manually you need to do it, right? But when you are going with the back order processing, what it will do is for which set of orders you want to give the confirmation, okay, as per your latest stock situation or the supply situation, it will do the mass ATP for your respective products at the respective location based upon whatever the input you have given. For all those orders, it will verify current supply situation and it will give the confirmation. Okay, it's a mass ATP. So now here we have a different strategies how you need to carry out that mass ATP. Okay, so under a BOP, so we have multiple strategies. So those are, let us say, we have win strategy, we have gain strategy, we have redistribute strategy, and we have fill strategy, we have lose strategy. So like that, different BOP strategies which we have. So depending upon your organizational process, which we can leverage these strategies. So what it will do is the win is like if you put any segment of orders on the win strategy, it's like it will always try to get the confirmation as soon as possible. Okay, it's like it will treat the rush orders. For the rush orders, you need to get the confirmation as customer requested, right? So those kind of orders you can put it under the win. Gain is like if possible, it can improve your confirmation situation. Otherwise, it will kept as it is. Redistribute is a normal mass ATP. Whatever the existing confirmations are there, so it will again distribute with respect to the current available stock situation. Okay. So like that, depending upon your business situation, depending upon your organization process, you can leverage any one of or more than one of BOP strategies for your mass ATP. Okay. We are going to discuss in detail what is win, what is gain, what is redistribute, what is fill, what is lose, and we have one more strategy called improve also. All those things when you're going into the actual sessions. Okay. So this is one more functionality which you get as a part of aATP solution. So now the next functionality which you get is the business process scheduling. We call it as a BPS. So for example, if you see this situation only, I bring this. Now, whenever customer comes with a requirement, so what generally we do, whether the stock is available or not, based upon the material availability date, we'll give the confirmation to your customer, right? But actually, how much time it actually takes to reach your end customers, like how much time it requires to pick up that material, to pack that material, or to load that material into your respective truck, or what is the transportation time I need to consider. So if I consider all those factors, your confirmations will not be same as that, right? So it will be more than 2 days or the 3 days extra on top of your confirmation date. So to avoid that, if you want to give an accurate confirmation to your customer by including your picking, packing, transportation, or if you have any custom activity which is there as a part of your delivering your order to the end customer, you want to include that times as well while giving the confirmation. The BPS will help you, business process scheduling. So whatever the activities which you perform on after the material availability date, that will be considered. By considering that, it will propose the realistic schedule line against your requirement. Okay, that's where the BPS will help you. And we have one more. Hope you guys are following up. If you have any questions, please put it up in the chat. So
I will just add on, even if you are not able to follow up, because this is very complex topics. Thank you for Karthik explaining in a simple way on a spreadsheet Excel. But this information, if it is getting overwhelming for you, don't worry, because on each of the topic, when we jump into the training, there would be more than 2 hours of sessions would be there on each of the topic, right? And when you jump into that detailed explanation, then things will clear for you. And when you try your hand on the system, it will get clarified more. So, Karthik, there was a lot of questions in the chat. Most of them I have answered. There's only one question I would like to quickly check.
Mhm.
It was on ABC. The question is for ABC, can we define the logic for choosing the alternate product based on value, stock available, lead times, etc., or is it a direct mapping of alternate products? So, based on my understanding and what experience I have received till now, that based on value, functionality is not there. So, whatever the sequence of the product which we define, based on that, the product substitution works. So you can also clarify. Do you know? Do you think that based on the value of the product, there we can put any logic that substitution can happen?
Currently, there is no logic. Whatever you said, it is right. So, as per your predefined substitution list, okay, as per that, it will verify the stock situation, and accordingly, it will give the confirmation. It won't verify your the lead time or something.
Thank you for that clarification. And I think apart from that, all other questions, most of the question which was asked, I have already answered.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So, so we have one more functionality, the final feature, which is available in aATP, that is release for delivery. We call it as a RFD, release for delivery. So this is like during the exceptions or during the emergency situations or the month end activities, if certain orders you want to give as per, you want to get the confirmations, okay, by taking away confirmation for other orders. Okay, if you follow the normal BOP, your orders will not get the confirmations, because for that, as per the predefined priorities or whatever the settings you have given, so as per that it will give the confirmation. But for at the month end, somehow you need to give the confirmation to that set of orders by taking away confirmation from the other sales orders. So there the RFD will comes into the picture. Okay, when you want to have a confirmation for your specific sales orders by taking away confirmation from other sales orders interactively, then RFD is the solutions where you can leverage it. Okay, so at the higher level, these are the key functionalities which you get as a part of S/4HANA aATP solution. Okay, so with this, I think the demo part is done from my side. Over to you, Varminda.
Sure, sure. Thank you very much, Karthik. And whatever the topics which Karthik has gone through, right, from top to bottom, that is also the curriculum also is there, right? These are the all topics which you would be going through when we'll be teaching you step by step into the detailed session. This is basically this nine things which he has, eight, nine things which he has mentioned. That is also the curriculum where we'll be jumping into these topics and going into the details. Karthik, have you planned to show something on the system? Can you
Yeah,
click on
yeah.
certain screens? Yeah.
So I will just showcase how the aATP applications will look like and where exactly the aATP configurations will lie in your SPRO. So I will just give a glimpse of it. So so I'm just logging to our S4HANA system. Okay. So as I mentioned, our aATP applications are available in the form of FERI, right? So once you log into your S4HANA system, okay, whatever the functionality which you have as a part of aATP, okay, all those things will be visible here. You can see alternative based confirmation apps are there. So in order to configure it, it will be easier. I mean, the configuration wise, it is simplified when it comes to aATP. When you compare with the other APOs ATP or the normal ECC ATP, the configuration here little easier because everything is properly optimized here. Whatever the really required configuration steps you need to follow, you can directly set up here. And if you see this, this is the RFD things. For the backorder processing, these are a set of apps which you have with which you can set up, you can visualize the results, you can schedule all those things. And if you look at the product allocation also, you can have a separate set of apps are there. Just a second, I will show you. Right. So with the help of these 5 to 6 apps, you can configure end-to-end product allocation scenario. So there is no integration required like in the APO days when you, I mean, whoever worked on the GATP to bring the allocations, we are relying on the demand planning of APO, right? So here that complexity is eliminated, and even in the ECC ATP, people who worked on the product allocation, there you required around 30 plus configuration steps, but that is simplified when it comes to your the S4 HANA aATP. So whatever the setup you want to do, you can manage with the help of these 5 to 6 apps. And if you've done the product allocation, you have set up the product allocation for your set of orders, what is the situation now, how it is looking like? So how much is consumed, how much is not consumed, whether it's overloaded, how much is there right now. So all those things you can visualize in the product allocation overview. If you look at here, even if your respective product combinations, so if you see here, so there are 35 orders are there, out of which 21 orders are like fully confirmed, okay, and 10 orders are the partially confirmed or unconfirmed, and you can see 4 orders which are confirmed on the time, okay. And if you see on the upper side here, so each period wise, how much is the load? Okay. Those details also you will get it here. So this is a very beautifully designed analytic tool in S4HANA aATP for the product allocation. So when you set up the product allocation, how is the situation? In order to monitor it, this is the best app which you get as a part of S4HANA aATP. Even for the backorder processing also, we have set up apps. If you come little down here, so just a second. Right. So these are the apps with which you can set up your BOP and what kind of sorting rule you want to have it, what kind of a filter you want to have it. All those things you will set up here. Once everything is ready, the filter or the sorting criteria is ready. This is where you can create your BOP variants. What kind of strategy you want to assign to the respective segment. All those things you will set up in the here. So, for example, this is one variant you have created. Okay, you can see in this variant, it is assigned to improve strategy and redistribute strategy. Like, so depending upon your business scenario, what kind of strategy I want to use it for the specific BOP, you can set up all those things. So once you schedule it to monitor it, we have a specific apps for that. If you schedule it, whether it is completed successfully, how the ATP situation now. So all those things you can visualize it with the help of the monitor BOP run. Okay. So as everything, okay, most of the apps, I mean, most of the solutions which you see in Fiori applications only, okay, it is easy to analyze, easy to visualize the situation, easy to understand the results, okay. That is a great advantage when you're going with the S4HANA aATP. And if you look at the your SPRO, where exactly the basic config steps which we need to set up under aATP. This is under cross-functional, okay, applications. You will get the aATP here. So you just need to go here Under the cross application components, you will get the aATP. Under that, you can choose the relevant settings, whether you want to activate the aATP for your specific checking group or not. If you want to activate the ABC, for which checking group you want to activate the ABC, for which PAL should be activated, all those things you will set up here. Okay, this is where exactly it sits under SPRO. Okay, this is how the look and feel of your aATP applications and the configuration things.
Thank you very much, Karthik. And we generally try to showcase you the screens also. Sometimes people come to us and say that they think that it's only the theoretical. It's not a theoretical training. We'll be jumping into the system. You can see so much of the data is already maintained from the previous batches. People have gone through. They have make their hand dirty in the system, and that would be full system-oriented training, which will happen, and by which you would be learning during the sessions. Uh, Karthik, do you want to show something else, or shall I jump into the job opportunity?
You can jump it.
Thank you very much, Karthik. Just check if something comes into the chat. You can answer it, and let me share my screen again.
Yeah, sure.
Now, with that explanation, you understand, right? That key, what is aATP? What is aATP? There are so many functions. There are so many features. Don't get overwhelmed with the information which you are getting it, because there are so many things which you still need to learn. There are so many things which you need to learn, and every chapter will go into that. If you want to jump, if you want to learn aATP, first thing comes that why should we learn aATP? Whether there are enough opportunities are there for aATP, that's what you need to look forward, right? And what is going to happen, I will tell you that why there are a lot of opportunities are there in aATP. First, you have gone through things, right? There are a lot of experienced consultants are there who has worked in aATP, but kind of the terminologies are there: supply protection, substitutions, alternate base confirmations, PAL, how to configure it, how to set it up. If you will go into the depth, it's all becoming aATP is becoming a separate module itself. That much of depth it is. I always say SAP is ocean, each module is ocean, and now aATP with the having a functionality, it is becoming ocean. Now, what is driving the projects in aATP? If you try to understand that, you will be able to understand how come the job market is running for aATP, right? So this all advanced functionality and feature, it is not like that the business want it now. Earlier they don't want it. Earlier also business wanted. Earlier business was there in ECC, right? I hope you all are able to see my screen. Quickly confirm yes in the chat if you're able to see my screen, because in between we had some problem. You was not able to see it, right? Quickly confirm with yes if you're able to see my screen. Okay, thank you very much. So all these functionalities was sitting on APO, Advanced Planning and Optimization, right? And under the APO, there was a product called GATP. That product has so many function features similar. In some cases, little more, I would say, with aATP. In some cases, little less than aATP, right? But that functionality was there. We were having a GATP in the APO, and you can connect with ECC with sending the data to the APO GATP and getting the information reversed from this, and get all these functionality, advanced BOP functionality or ABC related functionalities. We were able to do that. But because they are the two different systems, we need to have a full complete network and the architecture here. People need to set up the complete new system here, and then they need to do the integration. And people who has worked with these kind of integration, although we say this is a plugin, but for namesake it is plugin. There's so much of the data which transfer from ECC to S4 HANA, S4 HANA to ECC, sorry, APO to ECC. A lot of data transfer which happen, for which we need to manage the queues. And in many cases, when the APO has been used, you will see 2 consultant has been put it on support. They are always monitoring these queues, making sure that all the data between those two systems are synced. And then on the daily basis with the batch job run, we need to run so many programs to make sure the data has been cleaned and sync in this, and the data has been clean and sync in this. So that is a lot of additional efforts. The new servers, connections, middlewares, additional support consultants. So it is a very heavy loaded solution, which business was not feeling to adopt easily, right? Now, what is happening with the S4 HANA and what they have done when from ECC they have jumped to S4 HANA. Now, this functionality within S4 HANA, where all of the other modules are sitting, aATP is coming here. Now, the GATP is going to sunset, and aATP is coming on S4 HANA itself, right? So in future, the GATP, the companies who are having a GATP, I see the less companies are moving, but in future after 2030, you will see again the boom in demand where basically the GATP also they are moving out, and then people are now implementing aATP. But apart from that change and shift, a lot of businesses who want to have these new functionalities, a lot of businesses who want to have these new functionalities, they can adopt it because now it is into the same server it is available. Although there is some extra license cost, but again, it is not that heavy efforts which it was taking it implementing the APO, right? That implementation efforts are not heavy because everything is available in aATP. The same master data can be shared between both of them because it's the same system. So architecture simplification in the architecture is booming it up. Adoption of the aATP, right? They need to just pay the extra license fee. And this extra license fee also, the SAP is giving deals to the customer when they are giving S4 HANA. They are saying, okay, we are giving S4 HANA. You can also take 3 years of free aATP or 5 years of free aATP also you can take. And that is motivating the business to use that tool. And if they want to use it, they need a consultant for it. If they want to use it, they need a consultant for it. Right now, the market is under the shortage of aATP consultant because that is one thing is that's a very new area. Many people does not think that it is complete itself as a module, right? And there is a specialized people required. And right now, Europe and USA, those are running ahead than India. But again, because any implementation of SAP will happen in Europe and USA, the demand will come to India, right? Demand will definitely come to India, which is coming. And I'm not kidding it. I will show you the proof how the demand is coming, how bad market is in the search of aATP resources because of this situation, right? And I also feel aATP is a very low hanging fruit specifically for the people who was working on aATP and SG consultant, APO consultant. It's a very low hanging fruit for you, right? If you just adapt to this skill set and then whatever, because right now the market is up and it will be there from 2026, I can guess till 32 or 35, the market would be very hot for this skill set because there are 100 people are there who know the SG. But if you try to find it out, ATP का कौन expert है? Out of 100, you will hardly find one or two people, hardly one or two people. So that's where the shortage, and I will prove that shortage to you. This is some of the recent comments I updated in my skill set. aATP is written, and because I was training, I was sharing aATP content, and uh, you can see that I have taken out some screenshot to show you. Let me zoom in. Okay, so these are the screenshot which I am getting, and the salary packages are very good. They are looking for freelancing. भैया कहीं पे भी बैठे हो, anywhere you are sitting, you know the skill set we need, and even many opportunities I am getting it from the SAP itself. SAP itself, they have the skill set, but they don't have a resources. If because a lot of things this will happen. What happened that when the new companies adopt to it, they say that not many companies have adopted. So it's better SAP you yourself do the implementation. So SAP Europe, I was getting so many requirements because European clients are adopting to it and they're asking SAP to implement, and SAP does not have resources, right? So you can see here, right, that it has been asked that aATP 100% remote, 6+ month if you want to go ahead. Again, SAP aATP expert is required for a time zone in Mexico for the Mexico project, and remote aATP requirement is required. These all requirements are coming. A lot of requirements are coming. This is just samples I have taken to showcase to you, right? And this is coming onto my LinkedIn profiles because I have mentioned I am a aATP expert. It's coming to me. So that can open, if you learn this, that can open door to so many opportunities to you, right? And again, it is just 25 hours of training. I would say up to 100 hours of efforts you need to put it. If you can put it, you can be a global consultant sitting in India, working into the multiple projects, doing a freelancing, charging in USD, and you know that the way that Trump is coming it up with the different policies, making H1B more stricter. That would be a big opportunity from people working from India. Okay, so I will quickly explain you that if you joined our SAP S/4HANA aATP course, what are the things you are going to get it, right? So one thing is that in this aATP Advanced Available to Promise, in this part, you would be getting already recorded sessions. So we have already full batch recorded that we give it as soon as you join in, so that when the live sessions are happening, and during the live session, let's say the product allocations we would be covering after 3 weeks or 4 weeks of time, but in your project you need it now, right? So you would be able to jump into those videos. These are the videos which is done by myself. You will be having my recorded videos. You can go through that, or if sometime you feel that the gamifier in this part, you will be getting the sessions of the recording of the live sessions, right, which might be done by the others trainers, like we have a Karthik, right? So his recording, you will be getting it from this part. And that is every time the live session has been done, a recording, you will be getting it here. If you find that some explanation, you need some another tone, or that way you need to go with the my explanation, you would be jump into that part and you would be getting my recorded sessions from here, right? So that is where basically it would be covering the part. And then we also know that if you want to go ahead into this training, this most of the parts is done into the Fury, right? And if you are not expert into the Fury, if you have not used the Fury before, we are giving in the part of the bundle, we are giving you a complimentary sessions, that is A to Z Fury for functional consultant. That is again my recorded session. It's around 8 to 10 hours of recorded product which we have built it. And by using this one, you would be able to have and understand the Fury more, function features of Fury. So we don't go into the function features of the Fury into our different courses. So we have created a separate course which can be all the consultant must do it. So all the things which you need to learn about Fury, that has been covered in this one, and that we have added as a complementary course, which you can do in parallel, right? And then we are giving a 3 months of complimentary server access. As for HANA server access would be there, that you would also get it with this product. Then we also have a mind map. So I have created a lot of mind maps which will help you. Everything we have gone into the detail just to give you the glimpse of it, right? So these are the mind maps are available where basically different topics has been covered, and we have gone through in very depth of it. Let's say for back order processing, right? For advanced back order processing, what are the configurations are there? What are the process steps are there? If you want to know, okay, how the things need to be happens, and some places we have gone through in detail, showing you with the examples, with the screenshots, right? That much of details has been given here, right? With the screen example and screenshots also has been given. So detailed mind maps are available. So these mind maps which I have created, let's say for ABC also, the detailed mind map is there for the ABC location, how we need to do it, how the steps will happen. A very detailed mind maps has been created, which can help you a lot if you want to quickly revise the things. So that for that we have created one separate product which is a part of bundle, that is aATP mind map and content library. So from this one, you would be able to jump into the different mind maps. We have broken out into the mind maps, and you would be able to check all the mind maps from here, from this course. And apart from the mind maps, we are also adding a lot of additional content. Let's say alternate base confirmation, if you want to go into a little bit more details. So there is a content available. So you can go into that. Some documentation is available, and then a PPT slide has been created. Let me play it in a full screen mode. So that would be talking about that how the ABC would be happening, how the alternate base confirmation will happen. And it goes into the very detailed with the screenshot, with the examples, with the all the detailed explanations. It goes into the different presentation to explain you the concept, that how the different things are there, and in different version how the things has been changed. That kind of detailed documentations we are creating on, okay, to explain the things. And then it will be jumping onto the system, that how we need to configure these things in the system, and how step by step you can configure by using this documentation. So a lot of additional documentation, additional content we are providing from the content library. Some frequently asked questions on each of the sections, right? For release of delivery, for different places, that is additional frequently asked questions also has been provided into this part. So this content library we are keep on building. We are trying to build more and more content and give it to you, which is beyond the training, right? Because in training we give around 25 hours of live training for the aATP, but the content can be much bigger in the complex scenarios which can come in the project, right? So those kind of additional stuff we are trying to explain and provide it through this our mind maps and the content library product. So altogether, when you will be having this access to this bundle, aATP, you have a recorded session, you would be having a live sessions. Live session, again, we only do once or twice a year. We do the live session, but whatever we do in a year, you would be having access for them throughout the year. You would be having a complimentary 3 months of server access, and some additional product like Fiori to Z for functional consultant would be available with this. Okay, so that would be giving you a quick know-how that what are the things we are covering in aATP course and what are the things you would be getting from us. The link is available. You can go through in this link. There is option available to enroll for the course. You can also check the prices from this link, and then you would be able to proceed ahead. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Have a great day ahead.